What if I told you that Parliament had just approved the foundations of a digital ID system for children, and almost nobody noticed? No breaking news alerts, no national conversation, no front page headlines. But it could shape the very future identity for every child in Britain. It's called the Children's Wellbeing in Schools Bill, and on the surface it sounds positive. Protect children, improve safeguarding, support schools, help vulnerable families. Who could argue with that? But buried inside the language of the wellbeing and protection is something far bigger. A proposal for a single unique identifier for children. One number, one identity reference, one system linking records across multiple agencies, education, health, social care, local authorities, and maybe even more. Now let me be clear, this is not presented as a digital ID card. No one is saying children will carry identity cards tomorrow. But that kind of misses the point, because modern digital ID systems don't begin with cards. They begin with databases. They begin with linked records. They begin with one unique identifier used everywhere. And once that infrastructure exists, it can be expanded. Today it is safeguarding. Tomorrow it could be about attendance monitoring, behaviour records, eligibility checks, age verification, access to services, and automated decision making. This is how digital identity grows in the modern world. Quietly, technically, incrementally, without most people ever noticing. And here is the real political question. When was this openly put to the British public? When was this central to an election campaign? When were families asked whether they wanted linked state identity systems for children? There were debates about the NHS, the cost of living, housing, immigration, public services, but there was no national debate about this. No clear democratic mandate. No widespread public consent. Yet major structural changes continue to move through Parliament in lengthy bills few people ever read, wrapped in technical language, buried in amendments, passed through process rather than public understanding. Whether you support digital ID or oppose it, something this significant should be openly discussed, clearly explained, properly scrutinised, because once systems like this are built, they rarely shrink, they expand, they merge. People supporting this say it's about safeguarding vulnerable children and helping agencies share information. This is real and a very serious argument, but so is privacy, consent, data security, mission creep. And the question no one seems to be willing to ask: should a child receive a lifelong state-linked identifier before they're even old enough to understand what it means? This is bigger than one bill. This is about the future relationship between citizens and the state, whether identity becomes something you own or something the government manages for you. My upcoming documentary, This is Digital ID, investigates how these systems are being built piece by piece, often hidden inside policies that sound harmless. Not conspiracy, not fear, not hysteria, just evidence, research and facts and questions. Questions that nobody else is asking. If you believe the public deserves transparency, if you believe rights matter, if you believe systems this powerful should face democratic scrutiny, then please help me support this film. Help us tell this story. Because once digital ID infrastructure becomes normalised, it becomes very, very difficult to reverse it. This is Digital ID. Coming soon.